The time when Venus is retrograde is very intense. Retrograde Venus brings issues in the areas of love, relationships, and money. In astrology, Venus is the planet of love, money, and aesthetics. It goes retrograde approximately every 19 months for a period of 6 weeks. The periods of time when Venus is retrograde are highly intense. Retrograde Venus can trigger some of the most significant changes in our lives. It affects all types of relationships and also has an impact on our financial situation. We all feel the influence of retrograde Venus, but it particularly affects individuals who are born or have their rising sun under the signs of Taurus or Libra, since Venus is the ruling planet of these two signs. Let's see how retrograde Venus influences our relationships and financial situation. I will also tell you what you should do during this period. When Venus is retrograde, interpersonal relationships become colder. We find it difficult to give and receive love, and many of us may appear distant or even selfish. It is a time of introspection and self-observation. We analyze our relationships and reflect on how we behave in them. We also contemplate what we desire from our partner. During these 6 weeks, we may be confronted with our past if there are relationships that have not been definitely resolved. An ex-partner may suddenly contact us and create confusion. In all types of relationships, whether romantic or not, there are communication issues and a certain level of distancing. More serious problems arise in partnerships that have been struggling for a longer period. This is especially true when there are suppressed needs or recurring ignored issues that now come to the surface. Additionally, relationships that we wanted to keep secret for various reasons may be revealed during this time. Retrograde Venus often leads to separations. However, it mainly affects couples who generally had little chance of staying together forever. Retrograde Venus does not cause new problems but highlights existing ones. As strange as it may sound, if we look at the separations that occur now in the long run, the effects are usually positive for the individuals involved. Even stable relationships face some difficulties during this period, but also opportunities. If couples openly discuss their needs and expectations, they may learn something that brings them closer together. Bad news for singles. When Venus is retrograde, the chances of starting a new romantic relationship decrease. It often involves short-term relationships or ones that we want to keep secret. However, it could happen that we meet someone who seems to be our soulmate. It seems like a karmic encounter with someone we've known forever. If this happens, I advise you not to rush into anything. Wait a bit longer and start a new relationship when Venus is no longer retrograde. Often our opinion of this person changes when Venus goes direct again. This is partially because Venus governs aesthetics, and when its direction changes, so does our perception of what is beautiful or not. A person we find extremely attractive during Venus retrograde may not appeal to us as much afterward. If you enter into a relationship during Venus retrograde, you will probably learn something from it. The relationship is unlikely to last long, but it will touch on some sensitive points. Reality may hit you hard, but with the purpose of teaching you something. For those who want to get married, I recommend choosing a date when Venus is direct. It is not advisable to begin a marriage when a personal planet, especially Venus, is retrograde. Venus also rules over money. Therefore, there can be financial difficulties during Venus retrograde. Firstly, this refers to delays or cancellations. If you are expecting to receive money, it may arrive a bit later. If a salary increase is promised to you, It may come later, or the decision could be reversed when Venus goes direct again. Secondly, it concerns borrowed money. If you have borrowed money from someone, you may have to repay it now, perhaps earlier than agreed. During the 6 weeks of retrograde Venus, I advise against making expensive purchases. Avoid investing in real estate, artwork, or luxury products. Also, refrain from buying items needed for renovation or redecoration of your home. As mentioned earlier, Venus also governs aesthetics and beauty. Therefore, the retrograde period is not suitable for making significant changes to your appearance. If you have an appointment at a hair salon, beauty salon, tailor, and so on, I recommend going only for minor alterations or adjustments. If, for example, it involves a complex cosmetic facial treatment, I would advise you to reschedule your appointment. I also advise you to not make any drastic changes to your looks, hairstyle, or hair color. A look that you find beautiful or unique during Venus retrograde may be seen in a completely different light after the retrograde period ends. Making changes to the way you look is not recommended during Venus retrograde. However, internal changes are welcome. Retrograde Venus urges us to love ourselves more and to contemplate what we love and how we can become better persons. It is also a good time for self-analysis and understanding what we desire in a relationship. Reflect on your expectations and what you have to offer. Since I mentioned an ex-partner earlier, if you can still have an open conversation, try to learn about your behavior as a partner back then. This may help you improve your behavior in relationships. Now you know everything about the general influence of retrograde Venus. Please subscribe to my channel and turn the notifications on if you don't want to miss any of my future videos.